Good morning. Hello and welcome back. I'm here, as you can see, once again in the grow room. I had this incredible urge to film about nothing. I thought to myself, I don't know what to say. I have nothing to say. But at the same time, I just had this incredible urge to put myself on camera. There's always something beyond the message that's important. They say people in communication, 5% of what's registered is the words anyways. Something like that. So the nonverbal, and I'd like to add, there's more than the nonverbal as well. There's an energetic frequency that every human vibrates at. And that frequency you can feel, people call it a gut feeling. A gut feeling, right? You walk into a room and you see someone and you just get an instant kind of feeling about the person, whether or not it's an energy that matches with you or not. And oftentimes it's not so much if it matches with you, but if you're in a low vibrational state, which it does too with what you match, so excuse me, but if you're in a low vibrational state and you meet someone that's at a higher frequency than you, oftentimes it can feel, I don't know, you could feel kind of repelled. You're almost like, people like that or something, right? And if you're higher than the person, and you're still really much, identified with your ego and the thoughts in your mind, then you can look at those people as lower than you. Oh, they should be doing this, and So there's an energetic level that people communicate at, and I feel that's infinitely more valuable than anything I can say. So even through this video, that can be picked up. None of us are separate. None of us are actually separate from each other. And the whole earth is connected. We are connected as well by and through the earth. So in Reiki, they teach, and there's a practice where you can imprint a message through a video, through a picture, and I guess that's really the most important thing here. That's really what I don't want to say trying to do, but just doing already. And that's really the message I want to share most often with everybody. You don't have to try to be something or try to be anything for anybody, even for yourself. Just if you are 100% yourself, which oftentimes is more difficult than you might think, but especially if you grew up in a world, in this society, and you've really attached yourself to the belief system of society, then it can be difficult to be yourself. A string of judgments you might make on yourself, and criticisms. And my cat Harmony's here. She wants some petting. Hey, Harmony? She's a little bit cranky pants. She's a cranky pants. Hey, Harmony, say hi. Oh, okay. So being yourself and being authentic today, I would imagine, is probably more difficult today than it was in ancient times. In the ancient times, you probably had, I say that, I really don't know. Maybe you had your family that made you a blacksmith and that sort of thing. So maybe it wasn't easier, but my assumption came from, the whole world today is a certain way, and I don't know. It just seems that authenticity is more rare when I look around, more rare than people who are really authentic. And I guess the reason I think it's so important to be yourself is the people will be naturally drawn to you, the situations that you're going to bring forth in your life are going to align with your being when you're being who you are. And a lot of us talk about the negative things we don't like about life, and a lot of us feel that the friends we have, we can't trust them. And I see a lot of people who call people their friends that aren't actually their friends. It seems today that the idea of a friend is much less than the reality of what a friend was when I was growing up, in my perspective anyways. When you're authentic, the chances of you feeling happy in your life are much higher. When you are yourself, unapologetic, anxiety, depression, all those things start to disappear, because depression and anxiety both come largely from you not being yourself. Depression is when you're holding yourself down, you're pressing yourself down, you're pushing who you are down and not allowing yourself to be. That's what depression is. It's when you're in this state where you don't want to do anything and you're kind of sitting on yourself. And anxiety comes from you wanting things in your current situation to be different, or when you think about something that's coming, you don't want it to happen. And when you're authentic, unapologetically authentic, stuff like that just doesn't really matter anymore. I believe if we could all just tap in to who we are, that the vast majority of all mental health issues would just, unless you were born with some kind of, or you came into an unfortunate situation like an accident. But in life, what's the point of being here if you're not going to be yourself? Your persona, your personality, I mean, can it be more obvious how fake it is? And it seems so normal. The idea is that we want to portray this image of us being in a way that we think will be best for us. So we act a certain way in front of certain people so that those people will treat us a certain way. It gets very confusing because then you have to carry a certain face for every different type of person you meet. And when you first meet someone, you have this I'm first meeting someone face, kind of a face of safety. You really do your best to fit into the norms of society so that you come across as normal, so that person will like you. Maybe you want to avoid conflict. And it's true that if you are authentic, oftentimes you will run into more conflict, but you won't perceive it as conflict. The other person may, But when you're authentic, unapologetically, I can't speak at all, authentic, then conflict is only in the other person's eye, in their mind. You're being yourself, and you feel free inside yourself when you are yourself, when you're just being you. So you don't perceive conflict, you feel freedom. It's so peaceful in here today. Everybody else is still in bed, sleeping. Grab some water. So putting down your fake face may be difficult at first, and the persona you've developed, it may feel painful to put it down, very much like a breakup. When you're first going through this stage of realigning with your inner self. I made a video about ego death, and that's really what it takes. Because when you've identified as who you are, as a specific face, then it takes a certain type of a breakup in order to drop it. And when you have all these different faces that you show the world that aren't really you, what you're really doing, it's a split personality. It's when you believe that it is you, it's a form of schizophrenia. You are split. And all of those faces are fake. You have all these different personalities that you show to people. I laugh because I used to do it too. And on some level, when I walk into a convenience store, an old habit of, thank you and all the, not that saying thank you is not right, and that's probably not the best example, but when you interact with somebody at a cash register, for example, you act a certain way. So, and even that for myself, the cats are going crazy, they like to run all over. But even that, I've looked into, and I said to myself, am I being myself here right now? Am I actually just myself, or did I just put a face on? And I've been constantly very vigilant to drop all faces in every situation. And I have to tell you that realistically, you don't have to drop all your faces. And I use words like schizophrenic and split personality to give you a sense of urgency to really realize that you're actually not doing yourself a favor by putting forward a fake persona. Again, simply because the interactions that you have with people are not going to be genuine, and there's not going to be this flow of love between you. What we might not realize, and you might recognize when I say this, but we might not realize that love is actually a form of nourishment as well. And when you meet the world with a fakeness of a persona, then you're blocking the flow of your love towards that person. And when you interact on that level, you're not allowing the natural loving being that you are, that he or she is, to connect. And when two people, and I've seen this in the interactions that I have now on a daily basis, when you look in a person's eyes and you are authentically yourself, and then you meet for a moment and your eyes read each other and say, he's authentic right now, he's relaxed, she or he's authentic, there's this momentary recognition of each other's soul. You can recognize in that moment the deeper aspect of that person, and there's almost a hug between each other's eyes. There's almost a thank you without words. And this feeling that you get disarms the negativity within you that you might feel about that person, that person might feel about you, or that you might carry into the next conversation with other people or situation. When you can feel authentic, when you are authentic, you smile naturally, and your being that is being expressed, it feels good. You're expressing a sense of freedom, and that's picked up by other people that are around you. You're sharing that with everybody. Even though some people who will be very deep into their ego, and they might be turned off by you and they might not see you, there's going to be a lot of people, let me tell you, there is going to be a lot of people that no matter what is said in the conversation, that connection that you have between each other, when you look at each other for a moment and there's a recognition of love between you two, that's the most fulfilling part of any conversation you can have. Even if it's half a second, you feel filled. It's almost as though you just ate. You are nourished. So I'll leave you with that. Let yourself be. Express who you really are, unapologetically. Wherever you are around the world, whatever time it is that you're watching this, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Peace.